Nobody stars Bob Odenkirk. And the story follows an average, everyday Joe who, after helping a woman on a bus who's harassed by a group of men, becomes a target of a vengeful drug lord. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Repster, where movies and entertainment are our reputation. So, Nobody is a movie that has been done countless of times. It's just so similar to another franchise, John Wick. It's just so similar. There's so many similarities out there, which I'll get into here in a minute, but let's get into the positives of Nobody. The action was mind-blowing. It was so suspenseful. It was nicely done. It was choreographed just perfectly. The sequences was well played out. There wasn't a beat missed on the action. It was mesmerizing. Like I said, this film is a film that we've seen countless of times, most notably the John Wick similarities. Nobody was written by John Wick franchise writer Derek Kolstad. And because of him, if you're a fan of John Wick, you see John Wick similarities sprinkled all through this movie. I mean, the poster even looks like one of the John Wick films, only with John Wick, it was guns pointing at Keanu Reeves. And this, it's fists. In a way, it's kind of clever. It tried to keep its freshness, but it looks so similar to John Wick just for that fact alone. So when I first heard about this film, and I saw the poster for it, I was already convinced enough after watching the trailer. But seeing the poster, made me think that there was going to be a lot of similarities to John Wick. And then I found out that the same writer for that franchise wrote Nobody. And I was thinking to myself, wow, okay, so I know this is going to be pretty cool.
There's a long dormant piece of me that so very badly wants out.
But like I said, it added that freshness to it, like with the poster, which made the impact of the movie itself very breathtaking. It was excellent. It was sort of a roller coaster ride where it didn't know when to stop, but at the same time, it really worked. Like, especially for the tone and pacing of this film, it really worked because the action sequences and the scene layouts was just so brilliant. It was written so perfectly. The film seemed to have never slowed down, which is a good thing in this case. And when it did, it shifted to the story, which was pretty interesting. Again, there's a lot of similarities to John Wick in this film, sprinkled all through it, but the story was a little bit different. I'd say that it's not as strong as the original John Wick was, but it still captured its essence. But the story was slick, it was clever, it was an all-around blast, and a lot of that has to do with star Bob Odenkirk. He was great. He was an absolute gem in this. I've only seen him in bits and pieces. I haven't watched the whole show of Better Call Saul. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but I've seen bits and pieces of that show. So when I wrote into this movie, I knew I'd seen him before somewhere, and it just took me a little while, but I remembered. But he also used to be a comedian. I haven't really seen much of his comedic stuff, but with this movie, the way he handled this character, he deserves to be in the action genre. I hope that there's more stuff out there action-wise that they can fit this guy in. But this character was just an average, everyday Joe with a troubled past. And it took every fiber of his being mostly to keep a lid on all of that. And he was one of those characters that if you push him the wrong way, he'd explode like a nuclear bomb. And that he pretty much did. He was just someone who was ready to explode at any minute. Bob Odenkirk made this character work, much like Keanu Reeves did for John Wick. Now let me be clear, I do admit that in Nobody, Bob Odenkirk's character isn't one of those that just walks in the room and a bunch of bad guys just fall off dead. Much like John Wick did, because he was such a straight shooter. In Nobody, the character is a little older. It's not like he just walks into the room and just everybody falls dead. He worked really hard at this because of his age, and that to me kind of made it more realistic. Now I'm not downing John Wick, but because the character in Nobody, the way Bob Odenkirk played this character was such realism, and that's what made the film better all the more excellent. And it just put it in perspective. As entertaining as Bob Odenkirk was, you even get Christopher Lloyd as the character's father in this. And I love the fact that, without giving anything away, he has a lot to do in this. He doesn't show up much, but when he does, he has plenty to do. And for those of you who are Back to the Future fans, you will be pretty much satisfied with this character, with his character alone. And to be honest, I think he kind of added a little bit of the comedic tone to this. He kind of made me chuckle a little bit. And it was nice seeing him on the big screen. The last time I seen Christopher Lloyd on the big screen was Sin City: A Dame to Kill For, and he didn't even do that much. He wasn't even in the movie as much as he was in Nobody. So it was refreshing to see Christopher Lloyd playing a character of this magnitude. But go watch the film and you'll see what I'm talking about. The film was brought to us by the same guy who gave us Hardcore Henry a few years back. Though this wasn't as straightforward as that, it wasn't a one-person shooter as Hardcore Henry was, it was still beautifully done. And the direction was, I liked the direction that they went with it. I thought it was very clever. I thought it was very good. Even though this film wasn't shot like Hardcore Henry, which was basically a one-person POV shot, the action in Nobody was still pretty slick. It was still pretty good. It was still pretty hardcore. And it was all around enjoyable. Let's delve into the negatives. The characters. I didn't really care that much about the other characters. They wasn't that memorable, especially the main villain. I felt like he was there just by accident. I didn't really get a good vibe off of him. I wasn't terrified from him. He was much like the villains in Taken 2 and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. You know, those villains weren't memorable at all either. And I would have to compare this villain in Nobody to them because he just wasn't scary. He wasn't intimidating. Like I said, it just felt like he was there by accident and just for the hell of it. To make a good villain, you gotta have him do more than what he did in this movie. I just didn't get anything from him. Nobody is definitely an excellent movie, and I suggest anybody who's an action fan, especially if you're a John Wick fan, because like I said, there's a lot of similarities sprinkled throughout this movie for those films, I'd suggest you go see it. All in all, despite its lack of characters and the weak villain, Nobody is an entertainment action flick. Go see it and enjoy its sweet delight. So, Nobody, have you seen it yet? What did you think of the characters? Did you like Bob Odenkirk? Think he was a badass ass kicker like I did? Did you like some of the John Wick similarities that was sprinkled throughout this film? Or did you like John Wick better, or if you've seen better all in all? Leave me your comment down below and give me your thoughts. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. And I will see you on the next one, whatever it may be. Peace, rep out.